Hi guys, some exciting things. Okay, number one, well, on the not exciting front, I have food allergies, so today I'm dying a little bit. So, apologies for staring into the distance while my brain comes to, but exciting things. Number one, um, okay, how much background story do I want to give? How much do people care? I was chatting with one of my closest friends, and we talked business all the time, and I was talking about like courses and all these things and like all the options, and I'm like stuck between like four different platforms, and how should I do it, and what is like, well, and she was like, okay, listen, what's the easiest thing that you know like how to do? Like, what do you do like in your coaching program? Like, what's the process here? And I was like, okay, well, mostly email, Facebook groups sometimes for when they apply, and like I know how to run Facebook group. Like I don't have a Facebook group for the people in my like whole coaching thing, because like it wouldn't, none of the goals really always line up, so it wouldn't make sense. Anyway, side tangent. I was like, email. I know how to do Facebook groups. I know how to upload like password protected videos to like the internet. Like, and she was like, well, just do that. Like, don't make it so, oh my god, what's the right platform? And especially since it is such a like soft launch, like this is the first round of it. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect and polished. Like, all the videos will be videos that I'll have to refilm because I'm gonna tweet them. So I am officially opening up like 25 to 30 spots. It will first be launched on my email list, so if you want first dib, I don't think we will hit that number. I'm also going to have scholarship positions, so if it's unaffordable, actually I haven't decided the price yet, so if you like want to I asked Instagram, like in my Instagram stories, like what's a good price point that you guys have like paid for copywriting courses for like beta launches, not like official polished courses, and like what do you think is a good price? And people, it was from like $10 to like $800, and I was like, thank you. Like, okay, so I haven't officially decided, but it's not going to be $800. It's not a college course, like, anyway, it is officially launching. If it's not tomorrow, it's going to be Monday, because I'm getting this up on Thursday, is my hope. Hashtag team no edit. I'm not editing this video, I'm just going to post it. But anyway, it's coming. I don't imagine it's going to like to sell out. I think 30 is just reasonable for like how many people I can manage at any given point in time. Let me hammer out the details on, well, actually, like if you're interested, you could either just comment below or like in my Facebook groups that are down below and Discord. Because I want to offer like a little bit of a, if you want me to really, okay, here are my thoughts. Okay, this is going to get long, and then we'll get into the tools I use to run my business, which, spoilers, the link is just down below in my, I think I have like like tools I recommend, and then you just like click in there and then click in the database, and they're pretty much all there. But I'll talk about them in a second. So my thoughts are, it's going to be like a week at a time, releasing content of like each of the pages that, homepage, about page, sales page, landing pages, probably email, because I think most copywriters are asked to do that at some point in time. Maybe like a 5 to 6 week course, but some kind of option of like, okay, if you want me to look at it, like I want to have a group option where like we can all help each other, but like I can't promise I'm ready to everybody's pages and edit the, like give feedback, but some kind of option. Maybe I'll just do like, you just book a power hour with me to go through them. I don't know. If you're interested in that and that sounds interesting, let me know. But I think a lot of people just want to like be able to go through it on their own and like do their own stuff, but like also have the community aspect. I think that's really important. One, just for like accountability to check in, and two, to like get feedback and ideas, especially because it is such a like a first launch. So feedback is going to be very important. Cool. So instead of me overthinking this for the next like month or two and being like, oh my god, like how should I like what should I word it? Because I was overthinking, because I've worked on so many complicated campaigns of like drip funnels and tripwires and like email sequences and I was just like, I need that all set up before I can offer anything. And my friend was like, bitch, no, like just launch it and think about it, like figure it out. So launching and figuring out, this is how I've always done everything in my business, always. This tripod has tape on it. I could buy a new one. That's not a problem. But I love to be scrappy. It's in my DNA. Anyway, so the tools I use to run my business to save myself plenty of time and energy, maybe money, that's up for debate. But number one, for my scheduling of everything, I use Calendly. It is you put in your availability and then people can just book time, like whatever works for them. And it I'm on the like professional business plan, so it does all the automated things where it will automatically make a Zoom link for us. So I just need to go in, because for a while there, like I was doing all my calls like when works for you, and then the back and forth of like blah 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 and our schedules and like making it match, and that doesn't work. And just being able to be like, here's my calendar, schedule it. Or I'd have to we'd finally find a time and then I have to go on a Zoom and make a link, and I was doing it all kinds of wrong. So Calendly saves my time, so I just show up at my computer when the time is and log in, and there's our call. I'm there and I'm ready, and I look like I have, everything together. But also for people who have schedules that are a little crazy and freelancers who are using this as a side hustle, if you know your available time, even just slightly, it's a good thing to send to clients like, here's my available time. Like, just you click a time that works for you. They'll maybe have one themselves, because everybody seems to have it. I'm on LinkedIn and I did a pitch every 3 seconds of someone being like, let's schedule a free call. So it's a popular one. I know a competitor is, I think, Acuity is I think I've heard of them for just a few dollars cheaper a month, but I know Calendly has a free option if you just want to use one calendar and one event to schedule things. I have multiple event types, so I have to pay for more, but I know they have a free one, so give it a go, see if it helps you at all. If you're a person who needs to schedule a lot of meetings across the board. I even have a friend who uses it, she has the advanced program, or the advanced plan, but she'll send it out to her friends for book club, who's okay, when are we gonna meet for book club? And it's everybody just picks his time or whatever. I don't know, somehow she does all of it of when are we going to get drinks, and just sends it. I don't know if that's too impersonal, but I think it's great. It's where the future's going. My God, instead of the back and the forth, just clicked and done. Anyway, number 2, for most of my payment processing that I can manage, I use Stripe. Stripe is everything. PayPal can suck it. PayPal is just annoying, 1, in terms of fees, and 2, because their customer service is so bad. I've had to get lawyers involved in multiple occasions of them just being oh, okay, yeah, if someone hits I want a refund, they just automatically do it. They don't err on the side of the business owners. They err on the side of the customers, which is also your clients sometimes. So if a client's this hair, I swear I'm gonna shave my head in the middle of this video. I understand Britney Spears in 2008. I understand. But Stripe is great. I think there's a lot of things they could work on and things that they could fix. But in terms of automations, I didn't like having to go into PayPal, and I still use PayPal because a lot of my clients do, but I didn't like having to go into PayPal to transfer my money. Stripe is just you got paid, we're already automating the transfer, it'll be in your account in 2 days. I don't have to do the extra step. A lot of these things are focused around me not having to do the extra step, so I don't have to go crazy mentally of doing the thousands of things. Oh, that is actually one. Let me look it up while we're live. What is the time tracking service I use? Because I've switched between 2. Clockify. Clockify is what I use for Time tracking, it really helps, especially if you are in the freelance world and you bill by the hour, to be able to, you need a record of your time spent on working on client stuff. It always helps my clients when I like need to pull up a screenshot or like CC them into my Collectify and be like, look, here's how much time I spent on this project. Here's where we're at. Like, just to give you a ballpark of where, things are. But there's also Toggle, which is really cute, and I really like the colors. I'm not 100% convinced that I'm going to stick with Collectify. There's nothing really keeping me there as opposed to the rest. But, yes, Collectify for tracking your time, Stripe for getting paid. I love Stripe. So far, PayPal is very, very universal, which is a thing, but Stripe's just better for saving me time. And also, I think the fees are less. I may be wrong, but PayPal's always just seem steeper than they should. Like, every single time I did a payment, I'm like, ow, damn, like, chill. Cool. Now let's get into productivity, my favorite topic. One day I'm just going to start, like, talking about productivity, nothing else, at some point in my career. Let me say on the business ones. On the business ones, the last one I have is Mailchimp for emails. I like them. I'm very happy with them. The customer service is top notch. I know that there's a lot of other options out there, and a lot of people have switched. I just don't personally, and most people who are just freelancing don't really need all the fancy bells and whistles that the others have. At a certain point, Mailchimp does get steep. Like, I think it's like once you have 2,000 email subscribers or something, it starts getting steeper. And then we'll update that in like some time. But I've played with all the other ones for my clients when I upload emails to them. And there's just something simple about Mailchimp's UI. I'm also like a big fan of UI and like user interface and how easy a site is to use, basically. And for someone who doesn't write code and someone who doesn't speak that language and work in that world, Mailchimp is beautiful and easy and simple. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see in like a year or two if I switch from there, but I'm very happy so far. Let me think. Okay, now we will dive into productivity. Okay, so number one, I have a lot of things that I use, but I like complexity. Keep that in mind as I talk through all of these ones that I use. I like things to be a little complicated in terms of managing projects and managing things that I need to do and side hustles and clients and every area of my life. Like, I started reading Franklin Covey when I was in high school. So I like started in the productivity space, and then like I just use a lot of these tools out of pure curiosity and fun, like in the same way that people have hobbies. I'm like, let me build a Notion template, huh? Like, so keep in mind, it's a long list, but if you're looking for something to kind of manage your time, I will talk about each of them and like why I love each one of them. But also keep in mind, I'm a person who likes a lot of tools at once. Just plain simple one set like thing has never worked for me. It's not how my brain works. Probably some form of ADHD or something, but like my brain just loves a lot. So let's dive into them. Number one, as my daily task manager that I don't manage projects in because I follow Carl Poulin, I think is his name. He's like famous for talking about Todoist on YouTube. Not just that, but other things, but like productivity and Todoist. And he's always said that you cannot have your task manager be your project manager. Like, almost none of them are built well for the same thing. So I use Todoist for my task manager. Todoist is where I log into, and like this is where things are getting done. Number one, they have gamification on their site. So it's like you can see how many tasks you complete a day. You can set a goal. You can hit the goal. You can hit a weekly goal. There's karma overall. So you can like build up to this like enlightened status, which is like you've done, I don't know, like tens of thousands of tasks or something. That's how my brain works. I love competition. I am very brutal in competition. Like, it is my favorite thing. So being able to like compete with myself every day of like how many tasks can I get done. Is that always the most effective? Like, no, but I use Carl's 2+8 system, which is like you have 2 top priorities and then 8 things you'd really like to get done if you can in the day. So like 10 tasks total, that's it. It is everything. It is how I focus in my mornings and my days, and when I don't do it, I've noticed that like everything in my life goes to hell because I am just winging it every day. And the thing that I liked about Todoist is that it uses, I'm not like a designer or coder, so I don't understand the terminology, but it uses like native language to schedule tasks and make them. So if I'm like, listen, I want to work out every day at 4 o'clock. It's just like every day at 4 o'clock. It understands what you're telling it and then it schedules it. Or like I have all of my routines in there, so I could take everything that I repeatedly do in my life out of my brain and put it in it. Sorry, computer. Like, okay, my rent is due every second of every month. Clink, done. It reminds me, done. Every bill in there, everything, my workouts, my plan the next day routine, even granular level, like when I'm gearing up to like get clients back in my funnel again, like I just need to like ramp up my marketing. I'm like, okay, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 11, send out like 5 networking emails, and it just does it. And I don't need to tell it. I don't need to go in there and click like 19 buttons to make it automatically do this stuff. It just does it. It understands what I'm telling it. Or like I send invoices on the last day of every month, and I'm like, send invoices last day of every month, and it's like last day of every month, understands, like puts it in my fucking calendar. It is so great. It is so great. So Todoist, I'm obsessed with that feature because I don't have the time. Like a lot of these other ones, like I'll get into like ClickUp. You need to go in there and like click how often you want it to repeat, what days, when. Like you need to go in and like granularly hit all this, and Todoist just understands you and then does it. They also have a free version, so if you're someone who's like dabbling in the space a little bit of like you need a good task manager, you need something to tell you every day what to do. I mean, of course you have to go in there and like tell it what you need to be doing the next day, which you should be doing, but Todoist is my personal favorite. I know there's a million out there, but like I said, free option, worth a go. I love it. Okay, I think you can pay for more projects and then like labels, which of course I pay for because Todoist is one of the few ones that I jumped on paying for immediately because I understood the benefit, and also I follow GTD, Getting Things Done by David Allen. So I needed the labels and the filters and all of that like in my life. So I love it. Okay. From there, for my 2 project and database and life managers, number 1, this could probably be a long video. Number 1 is Notion. Notion is my everything. It is like, it has made me move out of Evernote. Like, I don't need Evernote anymore. Like, goodbye. Well, that's a lie. I still have it, but do I use it nearly as much as I use Notion? No. Notion is, how do I even describe it? It's like, there's probably a word from it from like people who work in that space, but like you can put all of your files into Notion to organize it and then make databases and make databases speak to each other. For example, I'm a person who loves to schedule and plan out. Like, I've got 3 to 5 year goals broken down backwards in Notion. And I'm like, okay, let's see. I'm not like techie, so trying to explain this is like, in my brain is not that easy. Marie Poulin on YouTube. Please don't follow her if you want to get into Notion. She is like the goddess of Notion, and I love her and her calm energy so much. And I'll try and put all these down below of like all the links to people that I love. But so if I have a database of like, okay, here's my 3 to 5 year goals, right? Like there's like maybe 10 to 20 in there, right? Just things that I'd like to do in the next like 3 to 5 years. And then I have a database of like my 1 year goals. Like, okay, what do I need to make happen this year? And I've only started setting this up recently, but like, whew, my brain is so happy. And then I have like a monthly database, and I make them all like I just learned about relational databases only like in the last 6 months, but so I can break everything down into like what I need to do. Like I can break those goals down, have them all in their separate categories, because I make them just linked. It's like I go into my 3 years goals and I go like, okay, what's like a baby project I could work on here? Like X, Y, and Z. Great. And I tag that into each of the data. The point is, when I open up February, which I will do in a week, like February, I will open up my February database and pull it up of a sheet, and it will pull all of this data into February of what I need to do and what my focus is. So I don't have to plan it over and over and over again. And it's just beautiful. Anyway, but you can also use Notion for like, I store, oh my God, like my new favorite one is my book notes. I've read hundreds of books in the last few years, like just college made me, like, you know, in the last 10 years, I've read a lot. And like, I just have one place that's a whole database of like, okay, here's the book title, the author, like the rating, when I read it, right? But then I click into like, you know, I just read So Good They Can't Ignore You, and I click into that and then pull all of my book notes so I can find them so quickly and so easily instead of hunting through Evernote. And anyway, Notion's great. You should check it out if it works for you. It's also very, very, very complicated. It is not intuitive by any stretch of the imagination, but they have a lot of really good templates to get your feet wet and get started in that space. But Notion is a beautiful beast. So beautiful. Also my other favorite thing to use Notion for is to reach out to people. I have a template in there that's like all of my contacts, all of my clients, and I know that there's other software that does this, but Notion is just pretty and intuitive for like my brain. And when I log in there, I say like, okay, I need to reach out to past clients every 3 months, period. Just like, let's keep business flowing. So I like pull up my contacts and my client database, and then right at the top, because I have it set up to do this, just like the next people I need to email. Like it's time, it's overdue. And then I can go in there and I can see notes and what we last talked about and like things to follow up with them on. If you can't tell, automation is like my everything these days. Just I was wasting, when I was like time tracking, probably like 20 hours doing all of this manually. Kill me. Anyway, okay. This is getting long now. The next one is ClickUp, just mainly as when projects are really, really complicated. So if I have I use ClickUp to track, number one, client pitching. Like I need to know where clients are in the funnel of like, so I really use it more for business, whereas like Notion's like my fitness workout and my plants and like taking care of that. Like it's more of like life than like business. So ClickUp is like really, really, really big, complicated projects, like me moving next, or this new client project that I have that's like we need like 3 different email funnels and a landing page and a sales page and this, and there's deadlines and there's due dates. So like I logged in and ClickUp to make sure I'm not missing any client deadlines, right? I'm like, okay, I need a home for all of my client work to just put in like one space. So because as a freelancer, you cannot miss deadlines. Like you just can't, like, unless you want to completely forget your entire career. I talked literally for so long, my phone was like storage full. So sorry guys. Okay, ClickUp for clients is like what you need to know. Also you can include like other people in your space. Also all of these have free options, so you can go in and like test them out to see if they're like good for you. I'm not really a fan of diving right into paid options because I love to just tinker with things and figure out if I like them or not. So, but I do pay for Notion, I do pay for ClickUp, I do pay for Todoist. Also, Cascade is another one I'm really testing out. The main point of Cascade is like you can make mind maps, Kanban boards, all kinds of things, but the thing that I love about it is like if you upload an entire document to it, you can go through it and assign yourself certain sentences. It's like if you dictate a Google Doc, right? And then go into it and be like, oh, I need to do this soon. And just like assign yourself like a sentence instead of having like take it out, put it in your task manager, assign it, move it. Like you can just go through your document and be like, click, do this. I like sometimes do it for uploading like work that I'm working on, and I tag myself in certain things, and I'm like, listen, like fix this. I don't like the wording of this. Also, sometimes I'll put like my book notes in there from like books I'm reading, and just like tag myself of like implement this. Like this is an idea. Like I haven't fully figured it out yet, but it's really pretty and intuitive, and I really like it. The UI is incredibly simple, and you can also bring people in to work on things as like a mutual document. I know you can on Doodle Docs, but I hate to say it, Doodle Docs ain't as pretty. It just isn't. It just is not as pretty as Cascade. I'll figure that out, and I'll see if I still recommend it in like a few months, but as of now, I'm loving it. So, let's see. And then the last one's bullet journal and paper planners. This is my everything. I've talked about them before. I don't even think I need to dive into them. I use both. I use passion planners because I am a paper girl at heart. I will always be drawing out mind maps. I will need the tech, all of those options. Everything is overwhelming with tech at some point, and sometimes after like doom scrolling Twitter for 2 hours, you just don't want to look at a screen anymore. So a good old-fashioned bullet journal is everything for me to just simply brain vomit with my pen. So that's pretty much it. That's all the tools. Okay. Anyway, I don't think anyone watched all 20 whatever the hell minutes this is gonna end up being. Thanks you guys for anyone who does, but course is coming. I'm very excited. We are shifting gears. We are launching. This is a brand new day, guys. I'm starting this the start of the new year. I am deleting everything that didn't happen. It had some 2020 energy, and we just want it to like go, you know. So 2021, we're here. It has officially started. I took some time. I napped. I've refocused myself. I have goals. I have plans. Let's do this. Okay, bye guys.